デボラに来ました。おなじみのジェミソンです。今から農園を見てですね、その後カッピングしようと思っています。はい、到着しました。デボラに来ました。おなじみのジェミソンです。今から農園を見てですね、その後カッピングしようと思っています。さあ、農園に直す。Let's go.
Let's go. We're here at Finca Deborah with Ogawa on our annual trip. It's the 11th year and we're here with the team as usual. The coffees are tasting beautiful this year. So we're going to cup coffees, we're going to walk the farm, and we're going to talk about the special processing techniques that we do here at Finca Deborah with Team Ogawa. And we're looking forward to seeing you in November. Cassiopeia is a brand new F1. It is a hybrid between Red Caturra and ET41. We're all familiar with Red Caturra. ET41 is an African heirloom. And the reason why Cassiopeia interested me is because the soils here and that wind that you just felt as you were coming in is incredibly intense. So the soils, they're not as good as some other areas on the farm. So I decided to do some research and discover what variety would work well here. So when you talk about Caturra, as you probably know, the foliar system is a very strong foliar system. It has a very strong root system. It can withstand wind, it can withstand some drought. And so as you can see from the structure, the foliar structure of this Cassiopeia, it almost looks like a Caturra. But it is that hybrid with ET41. So why would it make sense to bring the two together? Because with the ET41, that African heirloom, I'm going to get beautiful aromatics. I'm going to get a delicate presentation, layered complexity. At this elevation, we're standing at around 1,920 meters. So we're very, very high. But the foliar system can withstand all of this traumatic sort of experience. But I wanted to balance it with something that would have a nice cup quality. So that African heirloom is going to be a nice combination. We've already tasted the coffee. We're very impressed with it. Only 3 years and we're in production. So this year is actually, you can see the size of the trees, they're quite small. But these little trees have a fair amount of production, so we're able to taste the coffee. And it's very sweet. You can tell that it has a lot of potential. So in a year or 2 years, when these trees start to finally mature, we're going to have something very interesting. Now, Cassiopeia is a dwarf. And what does that mean? It means it's a very short tree. Well, Cassiopeia is actually the name of a constellation, but the tree itself is a dwarf, meaning very short. So as a dwarf, this is very advantageous for us because our harvesters are very short. Typically 5 feet, maybe 1.5 meters tall. So they don't have to worry about breaking branches, damaging the tree, or falling off a ladder, for example. This is very dangerous. And after 4 or 5 hours of harvesting in the field, you get tired intellectually and you can make mistakes. But this tree is a very high production tree. This tree is a short tree, and it can withstand what we were talking about before. A lot of winds, some drought, heavy rains. So we're excited about the Cassiopeia, and we're going to share it with you this year in 2025. Okay, welcome to the Dry House, Ogawa Coffee and Ogawa Coffee fans. The Dry House is a very important part of what we do at Savage Coffees on all of our farms. And I've created this 4-tiered raised bed system for numerous reasons. But we'll start with recipes. Every single coffee at Savage Coffees has its own recipe. Whether it's a classic washed, a classic natural, a nitrogen, a macerated geisha, all of these coffees, every coffee that you see with a different name has a different recipe, both on the wet side and the dry side. And it's not just in the cup where you can taste the difference. If you take a look around, you can see the variations in the colors, variations in the patinas, variations even with the natural coffees. For example, Afterglow versus Nirvana. So there's a lot that goes into the drying process, and ask me specific questions because I could do this for probably hours. But the most important thing is quality control. Excellence in our coffees is the most important thing at Savage Coffees. So we are constantly monitoring airflow, temperature, agitation, and we want to make sure that everything is just right in that coffee for Ogawa.
Great, great.
Do you have any specific questions you want me to talk about?
Okay. You have two locations. The house on the mountain and your field.
Yes.
What differentiation?
So we have two different locations with Savage Coffees. We have our Volcan location, which actually two locations here at Finca Deborah and Iris Estate. We also have a location in Boquete where I conduct all of my experimentations and very advanced processing. So you could say that I literally sleep with my coffee because I process those special coffees in my home. So we have the same system in all of our areas so that we can maintain consistency in the processing techniques.
Thank you.
Yeah. So Ellipse is a Finca Deborah natural nitrogen macerated washed finished geisha. This coffee took first place in the World Barista Championship in 2024 in Busan, Korea. It's a very, very special coffee, very elegant, beautiful coffee, and we're about to cup that coffee in about 20 minutes. Agitation is very important when it comes to cup quality and quality of the coffee generally. So when I say generally, what I'm referring to as the shelf life of the coffee, which is very important. And it's important because when our clients and customers receive their coffees, sometimes they don't immediately roast the coffee. And it's important that that coffee can stay a certain period of time on the shelf without losing its special attributes, like its aromatics, like its fruit-forward notes, for example, like its acidity. Those are all the nuanced, special qualities of Finca Deborah geishas and Savage coffees. So, what we want to do is constantly agitate the coffee so that we can aerate the coffee, so that we can arrest any opportunity for a mold bloom. But just as important is we want to expose the coffee on its edges to oxygen so that we can dry that coffee. And we can maintain a consistency in the humidity inside the coffee grain. Because when our clients and customers receive our coffees, we want that coffee to roast evenly. So it's very, very important for quality control measures that our coffees are consistently dried. And that's one of the things that we're known for, consistent quality.